Hi LEGO fans! I'm back with another classic LEGO Harry Potter set, and we're winding the clock back to 2001 and Book 1 The Philosopher's Stone. This is one of several sets depicting these 7 enchantments which protect the stone, including Hagrid's 3-headed dog Fluffy, Professor Pomona Sprout's Devil Snare, the gifted Quirinus Quirrel and his mountain troll, Severus Snape's potion riddle which I don't think made it into the movie, and Albus Dumbledore's Mirror of Erised. Today we're focusing on the 3rd and 4th Protective Enchantments, and I'm going to be speed building and reviewing set number 4704, Room of the Winged Keys from LEGO Harry Potter. To be sure all the pieces are here, I gave this a quick teardown and now we need to put it back together. So sit back and relax as we do some video magic to create a 43-second speed build. So this is set number 4704, the Room of the Winged Keys from the very first wave of LEGO Harry Potter sets in 2001. Build time today was just under 20 minutes, and it's a cool little build with a deceptively high 175 piece part count. The set includes 3 minifigures, but is missing an important character who we'll talk about in just a second. We have a very common HP 005 Harry Potter who appears in 8 sets and is worth between $3 and $6 depending on condition. Ronald Bilious Weasley also makes an appearance, and this is the HP 007 variant. This appears in 6 sets and is worth the same $3 to $6. More unusual is the HP 016 Harry Potter Chess Queen, which is worth between $6 and $8. Some of the value comes down to this rather nice chrome Lego Belleville element used for the crown. Replacing that on Bricklink is going to cost you $2 or $3. Of course, the one minifigure who should be in this set but is not is the troll-and raging Muggleborn know-it-all Hermione Granger. Of course, as an incentive to collect them all, she does appear in the earlier Forbidden Corridor set. We'll take a closer look at the minifigures later in the video. Before then, let's trace our way through the 7 enchantments and take a closer look at the Room of the Winged Keys. To get to the Philosopher's Stone, you must pass through 7 enchantments, and the first is this guy. Hagrid's 3-headed dog, or Cerberus, is affectionately known as Fluffy and is guarding a trapdoor. Cerberus actually comes from Greek mythology and is referred to as the Hound of Hades. It's a multi-headed dog that guards the gates of the underworld to protect the dead from leaving. Music sends it to sleep, and by chance LEGO included a really nice printed flute element. It's not the harp as featured in the movie, but it is a really cool thing. With Fluffy taking a little nap, Harry, Ron and Hermione can move on to the next obstacle. The next obstacle comes in the form of Devil's Snare, which was provided by Professor Pomona Sprout, the herbology teacher. The trick with Devil's Snare is to relax, because the more you struggle, the faster it will try and kill you. Ron wasn't able to wrap his head around that, so Hermione used the spell Lumos Solum. This produces a blinding flash of sunlight which subdues the murderous plant. I really like the Devil's Snare chomping action included in this set. Enchantments 1 and 2, Fluffy, and the Devil's Snare can be found in set number 4706, Forbidden Corridor. This also came out in 2001 and is a video for another day. After inexplicably losing Hermione, we come to the Room of the Winged Keys. It's described as a brilliantly lit chamber with a very high ceiling full of glittering winged keys. These are said to have been enchanted by Professor Phileas Flitwick, although that is open to some debate in online forums. The 4704 set consists of 2 distinct areas, and like many early LEGO Harry Potter sets, we do have a hinged component here. It gives you some display options and allows you to combine this with another couple of sets. We'll give that a try later in the video. In order to progress to the next chamber, Harry, Ron and Hermione need to get through this door. Unfortunately, it is impervious to the spell Alohomora. That's where the winged keys come in. Harry sees them flying around overhead and realises this would be a good challenge for a Quidditch seeker. Conveniently, a broom has been supplied for just this purpose. The keys are actually mounted in these removable bricks which tend to fall out really easily. We have a grey key to which is attached a pair of feathers, and the key is simply pushed into this brick here. One of the keys is very different and is hidden away in the back of one of the bricks. This one looks very different and captures Harry's attention. True to the story, this is the key with the broken wing. This time the key is silver and we have this pair of blue wings. It's actually quite an unusual colour for this element and only appears in 5 sets. Being a naturally gifted Quidditch seeker, Harry makes short work of capturing the key. Thoughtfully, LEGO included a spare which is mounted around the back. It's a nice thought, but maybe they should have put it underneath the doormat. If you remember doing that, you're way too old. To liven up what might otherwise be a pretty boring set, we have this spider's web complete with trans neon green spider. How it got to be trans neon green, I can only guess. The spider's web is mounted on a pivot point, so if you really want to, you can flap it down. Honestly, I don't really think that adds any value. Making the set a little more colourful, we also have trans neon orange flame elements. Also at the top, LEGO gives us a sense of the high vaulted ceiling of the Chamber of Winged Keys. The boys don't seem too concerned about the missing Hermione, so I guess we should take this key, open up the door and move on to enchantment number 4. Moving into the next chamber, the trio are faced with a supersized version of Wizard's Chess. For the LEGO version, we have a super dumbed down chessboard. This has 9 squares instead of the usual 64, and we're missing 31 of the chessmen. To make it through this chamber, the trio had to play a game of chess and checkmate the king. This had the unfortunate side effect that Ron had to sacrifice himself and couldn't move on to the next enchantment. The Wizard's Chess chamber is super simple. Only the queen is supplied, we'll take a look at her in just a moment, and she stands on this 3x3 chessboard. A 3x3 configuration is useless as we have more white squares than black squares. To distract us from this obvious shortcoming, we have more trans neon orange flame elements. We also have an arched ceiling which kind of reminds me of the shape of a bishop, and a large and rather ornate sand green roof piece. At this point, the movie makes quite a deviation from the story as told in the book. After winning the game of chess, Harry progresses to the final challenge alone and meets Quirrelmort. In the book there was a 5th chamber containing a mountain troll provided by Quirrel. This chamber had a foul odour and there was great relief in passing through it. Chamber number 6 was the potion riddle supplied by Severus Snape. I believe this was filmed but was omitted from the final cut of the movie. Upon entering the chamber, the entrance was blocked by purple flames whilst the exit was covered by black flames. A table holding several unlabelled potion bottles of different shapes and sizes sat in the centre of the room with a logical riddle. 3 were poison, 2 contained nettle wine, 1 contained a potion to safely traverse the black flame, and the last one contained a potion that allowed passage back through the purple flames. The riddle, when properly worked out, revealed the contents of each bottle and therefore which one was safe to drink to allow onward progress. And so this brings us to the final challenge where Harry comes face to face with Quirrel and Snape is exonerated. This is set number 4702, the final challenge, also from the first wave of LEGO Harry Potter. Removing his turban, Quirrel reveals the secret that he is actually Quirrelmort and is harbouring the last physical presence of Voldemort. Voldy is trying to get his hands on the Philosopher's Stone, which was created by Dumbledore's buddy, the alchemist and really old dude, Nicholas Flamel. This ruby-red stone could be used to create the elixir of life which made the drinker immortal, as well as transform any metal into pure gold. This final 7th chamber contained the Mirror of Erised. The only way to obtain the stone was for an individual to look into the mirror and see themselves possessing the stone but not using it. Good thinking, Dumbledore. After a brief struggle, Quirrel was destroyed by the mere touch of Harry Potter. Neither Quirrel nor Voldemort knew at the time that Harry was in fact, spoiler alert, a Horcrux. Thankfully Voldemort wasn't killed and J.K. Rowling could go on to make billions and billions of dollars. I can't imagine why anybody would want to cash in on the popularity of Harry Potter. So in reality there were 7 obstacles protecting the Philosopher's Stone. The prevalence of the number 7 is not coincidental. It's believed that the number 7 is the most magical number and it also coincides with the number of books in the series. Voldemort also knew this fact, hence his desire to tear his soul into 7 pieces. Of course there was also an 8th obstacle. Hermione dealt with this swiftly using the full body bind curse Petricius Totalus. Take that, Neville. Another loose end we need to tidy up is the actual name of this set. I referred to it earlier as the Room of the Winged Keys. This is the name assigned to the set by Brickset and also Brick Owl. On Bricklink it's referred to as the Chamber of the Winged Keys, and the same applies when you look for instructions on lego.com. It's possible the set had different names in different markets, but I will go with the Chamber of the Winged Keys for the purposes of this video. So that was set number 4704, the Chamber of the Winged Keys, but before we wrap up we've got a couple of things to do. We'll be taking a look at the minifigures in just a second, but I did promise to show you how all of these Philosopher Stone sets fit together. In truth, it doesn't really work very well, and I don't know whether LEGO really had this idea for the 3 sets. The nice thing is you can recreate the journey through all 7 obstacles except the 2 which Warner Brothers forgot to include in the movie. Starting at the top we have the encounter with Fluffy and the trapdoor. Then we have the battle with the murderous devil Snare. We then have the Chamber of the Winged Keys before Ron takes on Gary Kasparov in a game of Wizard's Chess. The 5th obstacle, the Mountain Troll, was conveniently omitted from the movie, as was obstacle number 6 and one of Hermione's finest moments, Snape's potion riddle. After all of that excitement and missed opportunities, we finally come to the encounter with Quirrelmort. Combining these 3 sets is not perfect, but it is a nice way of putting together the storyline. Speaking of stories, every story needs actors, and with 4704, the Chamber of the Winged Keys, we have 3 minifigures. A HP-005 Harry Potter, HP-007 Ron Weasley, and HP-016 Harry Potter Chess Queen. Now I'm not going to beat around the bush, this Harry Potter minifigure is very common indeed. He appears in 8 different sets. The only printed part is the torso, which shows a white school shirt, Gryffindor tie, and Gryffindor jumper. He also has this rather flash cape with stars and a copyright logo on the inside, and a fantastic yellow face complete with trademark Harry Potter specs and a lightning-shaped scar. Topped off with a haircut that wouldn't look out of place in the Beatles, this is a great-looking Harry Potter. Apart from the face and the hair, the Ron and Harry minifigures are identical. Ron's expression highlights that dopey grin, and it's great to see some freckles underneath the eyes. Crowned with a ginger barnet, he is unmistakably a Weasley. Slightly more unusual is the HP-016 Harry Potter Chess Queen. I wasn't sure if I liked this minifigure, but I've decided she's all white. The torso is a stock element, but a little bit unusual with the white hands. Instead of a standard minifigure head, we have this rather more slimline cylinder element. It's topped with this awesome chrome crown which came from the Belleville theme. These dolls were well known for eating minifigures, and their favourite thing in the whole world was pulling wings off butterflies. Seriously though, these things are super creepy, and I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. The other slightly unusual thing about the Chess Queen is the robe piece at the bottom. Usually with these slope pieces you would expect to see a tube in the bottom to stabilise everything, but this is completely void. This is not the strongest lineup of minifigures, particularly because we get very common Ron and Harry minifigures. The Chess Queen is quite unusual, but I've got to question the lack of a Hermione. I mean, I know she's an insufferable know-it-all, but she's an important part of the story. So that was set number 4704, the Chamber of the Winged Keys from LEGO Harry Potter. I don't think this is the best Harry Potter set in the world, but it does allow for a little storytelling. The Winged Keys were really nicely put together, but I think the chess set was a little bit flawed. Considering this cost $20 back in 2001, I would have expected a little bit more from this set. The Forbidden Corridor set was only $10 more, and in my humble opinion, much better value for money. Fluffy alone makes this set well worth hunting out. While this may not be the best Harry Potter set, it certainly gave me a nostalgia kick, and it was great to do some storytelling. The 2020 sets are underway, and I want to thank everybody who voted for which one of those sets to review first. It's looking like it might be the Burrow. I really hope you enjoyed this classic LEGO Harry Potter speed build and review video. If you did, a thumbs up is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more Harry Potter goodness. Thanks a million for checking out today's review, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next build video.